right, everybody, this is the makeup session for that 8-hour fundraising Twitch session I did on Saturday a few days ago, where we raised $2,700 plus. And I actually got a wonderful, really super late donation from Groovin' Goon that now pushed that into $2,800 for my total on that. So I get chicken skin. I just did. I just got goosebumps because it's just wonderful what we all have been doing. And for so many of you who actually sat through the 8 hours, I don't know how many of you here on this makeup session sat through the whole 8 hours. You may want to give me a dancing cat or something if you did, or whatever, or how's it? That was absolutely tremendous, especially when a lot of the double and triple and a couple of quadruple donation requests came from the same people. And so, yeah, yeah, there were quite a few of you here, you know, and Jekazuria, Nerevor Rising, Xandir, Make 33, Turnip, you know, and everybody I see here. So that was really amazing, you know, to come together for the Maui Food Bank. So this is the makeup session, guys. So I'm going to go for 2, maybe 3 hours. I will take a break a little bit, but we're going to get right into it. So where I'm picking up is off of a donation from Little Pan Panda. I don't know if you're here or not on this makeup session, but if you're not, thank you so much for your donation of $20 for the Maui Food Bank. And I've called up your song first because that's what we're doing. That's where we left off. I don't know. I actually skipped this in the slide up here, and I don't know, you know, what happened here, but I'm good to make up, man. That's what I do. So I believe that this is, let me see something. This first one is the track that you want. And so, hey, Bear Squatch, thank you very much. And thanks for dropping by and leaving a comment. Hey, there you are. Little Pan Panda, you're here. Okay, fantastic. So it's the first one then, good. Okay, so let's do this. Little Pan Panda, thank you again for that $20 donations for the Maui Food Bank. This is Arknights EP and Towards Her Light. All right. Automatic, my ears go to the tremolo strings automatically. I don't know.
Where the spring mists settle and the valleys breathe and the hillocks shadow light and calm. You're not to feel unwanted, though the world might abhor. Your home is in Victoria, Victoria, once more.
Nice chord change.
When the night wind calls us to the tussling fields, lost in battle, weary in your heart.
I love the acoustic guitar, what it's doing here.
And it holds a runner as we march to the shore, and I will see Victoria, Victoria once more. My heart will sing Victoria, Victoria once more.
That bass. What a beautiful track. I could not have asked a better way to open up this session. What a wonderful, wonderful track. This kind of Celtic, very Irish vibe. That dakata, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's such an uplifting arrangement. Also with all organic instrumentation, it sounds like, so even more so. That kind of lights one up for me. Figuratively, not literally. I wasn't expecting a song. I didn't know what it was because I didn't know what it was for, Pan Panda, but I was absolutely elated when the vocals came in, because at the point where that flute had already established the melody, I was like, well, how far and how it came in kind of already kind of robust and loaded a little bit. So I'm saying, well, where are we going to go with the melodies? Going to get faster, and then she came with her voice. What a beautiful tone in her voice too. Also, there is some really uniquely intricate little arrangements that are in counter melody, if you would. So remember I was saying that meandering guitar on this side. Listen to that acoustic guitar. It's got a little life of its own, you know, and there's a lot of these little things that are happening there. And it's just wonderful. I don't know if this is a video game or if this is anime or something, because I'm just looking at this image here. This is just a great song, full stop. Oh, that bass. Oh, come on. There's that tremolo string back there.
Her light, a harbor for faithless. She won't let you fall when the darkness calls you. Anger safe in her wall. Like a shield, she's victorious. Her love for you is an army, protected and served. When you're lost, unwanted, she's your hope preserved. Like a sword, she's victorious. Even if I wander beyond the hills towards Sargon,
what a great pullback in production.
she'll keep calling and her beacon lead like a warship steady through the storm. I am left unshaken, I am safe in her arms.
I just got to stop right there. What a beautiful pullback in production right there. At the one moment for like 2 bars, it was just her voice, it sounded like. And then there's the intricacies of the independent instruments kind of coming in and out and breathing counter melodic work or supportive arrangements just slightly behind her. I do want to say I apologize if because I'm not an ethnomusicologist, I by far don't know everything. So Irish or if it was Scottish, I definitely don't mean any disrespect to anything there. I know it's a sound that I'm familiar with, and so if anybody is I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings on that. But I love the stop of this part of this production here, and the intricacy of the strings too. My ear, for some reason, keeps going back to the tremolos. There's areas where there's just nice little tremolos that are happening. You know, but the other thing about this too is that the tempo and the texture of it gives it that Celtic vibe, obviously. But the chord changes are very unique and progressive as well. So it's really, really a super. When did this release? Well, this was released a year ago. I don't know exactly when the release date of this was, but very progressive and so well engineered.
The solace of Victoria, hopeful in Victoria. My heart will sing Victoria. We will march past the dusty moors, shake off 1,000 wars, leaving not left alone. Victoria's
I love the harmonies against that flute line that we're going on with the strings.
To feel unwanted, though the world might abhor. Your home is in Victoria.
What a great track. I love so much about it, as I already went on about in the first stop. Something else that I wanted to bring up before I move on too is that I love the answer back vocals that arrangers, producers will do, where you have the principal saying something, and then you have these background vocals that are kind of staged hard left, hard right. In this case, it was unison, I believed, but it was an answer back to the melody. So it wasn't like in support of the melody in the sense that it was singing rhythmically in unison, in harmonies, like we're kind of used to hearing when all harmonies of a melody. This was melody, 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 still a continuation of the melody, but it was an answer back, hard left and right. And I love that kind of details, production and stuff. This was a great track, and it also gives you that feeling like, I don't know, maybe it's because of just the years of stereotypically kind of sewing it into my mind, but it does make you feel like you want to be on a mountainside where it's, you know, maybe a little rainy or something, and it's green, and you're spinning around and just being in a happy, you know, like, yeah, you know, having fun and with the kids or your friends or whatever, you know, kind of a very festive kind of vibe, Pan Panda. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. And okay, next up is going to be N45800. Are you here, N45800? Anybody still here? And like I said, if you're not, this is being saved to the hard drive, and it's going to be put out in the public, like Ron White said during a very funny part of his comedy. Hey, there you are. How's it? Hoo-yah! Hoo-yah! Well, this is for you. Thank you so much for coming back, number one. Number two, for your $20 donation for the Maui Food Bank. And the track you want is Wild Dance of the Machine God. Let's see what we got here. All right. Okay, so I believe it's this first one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what it says. Let me make double sure it's yours. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, I'm sorry. Drugs are bad. Okay, my bad. That's the one after yours. Is Battle for Freedom, Final Fantasy 7. Sorry. No, I just space farted. The Battle for Freedom. Okay, I do that. Just 7, Final Fantasy 7? There it is. Oh no, I'm sorry, did I say 7? Look, guys, if you were on my 8-hour stream, I told you all about my dyslexia, and so I see things and my brain just doesn't register correctly for some reason. Which makes maybe a good reason why I was very creative, and I was never a journalist. Journalist. Sorry, Bobo. Oh man, that's Mini Grind. First of all, thanks for saying hi and dropping in. That was a very kind comment. I really do take those flatteringly. Of course, if it's in a good light. If I remind you of your dad. I've had some people say they remind me of their uncle or their grandpa or something like that. So thank you, and thanks for hanging out. All right, guys, let's do this. This is Final Fantasy 12, and this was a donation from N4800. Okay, let's do this. Wait. It loops at about 6 minutes? Okay. All right, cool beans. Let's do this. All right. There are those trimmed strings again. I just got through saying that. Spooky, heavy. This must be a getting ready for boss fight or something. Oh, cutscene. Okay, because it has that kind of emotional pull. That was great. Those opposite progressions right there were fantastic. Man, that was great, chaotic and arcade chaotic and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Anxiety build. And there were some very unique pulling arrangements. Did you see when I just said that? How the arrangements are like da, 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 da. And as one is maintaining the melody, you have another one like the horn section is working its way down, like peeling up like a slow band-aid off. And then it got more and more intricate, but they still seemed, as I recall, the principal 8 notes that were being played through that 2-bar transition still, or 2-bar phrase, was still repeating itself. But the composer kept on pulling more and more kind of malignant, depressing, heavy, hard sounding, arrangements to support the heaviness of it. So dark, so heavy, but it is a well-known trick in the composer's sonic toolbook, wizard box, book, is those high notes that are the tremoling strings, the tremolos, very always agitating and very anxiety sounding, that you can have this gigantic, movement happening at the bottom, or even as a matter of fact, I've used it before, where I've done something that is like a leitmotif of something. Let's say I'm changing just a couple notes, but to give you that falling feeling or that deepening, darker, heavier feeling, I would do the same thing. And that's a descending, and it feels like it's descending. But against these bottom end like that, it just even makes it more ominous. The tuned timpanis. It's like a bold ending coming or something, or change up. The marimbas in the back. As this is growing and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I think what's really cool about this is a lot of times you have these independent percussion arrangements or percussive arrangements by instruments like the marimba that come in and give you, while now we have boom, 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 you know, you had the horns and everybody's going on and on and on. And then you hear very clearly through 65 musicians plus the marimba percussively going, and what's really funny, if you're an old fart like me, that kind of like call to action and anxiety and what's coming was used a lot in news themes. You know, tonight on Channel 7, you know, it's always that kind of creepy, kind of like, what's going to happen today? You know, that kind of vibe. And with the marimbas, that is an excellent way to create that while still having more of a darker, heavier, you know, now we're into this really kind of molassesy darkness of, you know, kick-ass for whatever this, I guess, some people, I guess it's a cutscene to a build to a boss fight, but this is really revving you up for that boss fight, that's for sure. I love that. Ooh, that was a dissonant little horn thing. That weird little. Now, I mean, also introducing the rest of the mallet type sounds there that would go in there. Did you guys hear the tube bell actually coming in there and just emphasizing, you know, certain quarter notes and stuff? This whole track is just largely bombastically powerful and these counter arrangements of the big, rich, deep horns that are ripping through. They are like the people's elbow of the of the orchestra, as far as I'm concerned, as far as really relaying that message of heaviness or darkness. At the same token, it could be beautiful and meander. Not saying that the violin section or the reed section can't necessarily accomplish the same kind of energy and power. There's something about the horn sections when it starts to just level up to a certain point, all of a sudden you really have to lean hard on the horn section to get a lot of that emphasis, the ripping sounds of like French horn rips, trombone rips, and stuff like that to emphasize dynamics is very powerful in this track. I think we looped. Are we looping already? Yeah. Okay, so it looped. All right. So anyhow, this whole piece obviously is a cutscene and getting you prepped up to a boss battle, and it does exactly what it's serving up to do, and it's to get you all prepped and energized and pumped and anxiety, and it's one of those massive, like, cheers before the big battle kind of vibe, like it's one of those things where you could see, like, well, in my mind, since I don't play Final Fantasy, I could see in my mind, hordes of horses with, guys coming out of the trees coming in to fight the battles. And this is that kind of music, and it pumps you up for it. Excuse me. But that was a pretty damn sick suggestion, man. I've had already 2 tracks on here. It's just been fantastic and yet very different. And that's what I love about that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, well, where am I going now? The next one I'm doing is for, I don't know if Mr. Dave States is here. This is a, let me see what we have here. Hang on for a second as I squeeze by. No, I have not listened to that yet, Ariska. I have not, but I'm sure I can put that on my list for sure, on my Lucky Dip list. Let me put this in here. Okay. So this song, it comes from us. It was a donation from, let me see, get my name over, get the name scrooched back over there on my giant. Dave States, thank you so much for your $20 donation for the Maui Food Bank donation session. This is the makeup session. I couldn't fit it all in, but I'm glad I got to your track. And once again, thank you so much for your support of the Maui Food Bank. Oof. Kale. All right, guys, here we go. Wild Dance of the Machine God. I don't know what SRWOG stand for, but it's probably a game, guys. Set me straight. Let me know. What's killer about this is that in my mind, I understand that I don't know where in the this is 13 years ago. This was dropped on YouTube. Don't know when this game was released and under what company, but in my mind, it's converting in real time into a metal band. Like a real. It's like kind of a. Is there such a thing as like a contemporary metalcore sounding kind of or heavy metal kind of vibe? So in other words, I'm replacing in my head every bit of that just about with like kind of a metal crunchy sound, because whoever wrote this and how they programmed that and the synths that they're using is leading me to believe that that was the essence that they wanted. But obviously, it's electronic, so these bigger fat synths would be what maybe be in place of crunchier guitars. Some of the run-ups and stuff that were being done were very guitar-like. So it kind of is giving me that vibe. 2007, okay. Oh, hi, Dave. Do you hear how many arrangements are going on back there? It is just loaded with arrangements and counter arrangements going on. You got all that is going on while we're hearing, not sounding like that, obviously. It's going on while we're hearing this main melody. And it's amazing on how much this composer was able to wedge in there, Dave. It's just insane that what I'm listening to, and especially if it's all synths. If it's all synths and synths to me, get into this pocket between like 4K and 8K of tones that they're generating, it could be such a beast to wield. And just the patches that he chose to do these arrangements with and be like having 5 different conversations musically going on and still make sense while still maintaining a pocket for the main melody is insane. Man, listen to all those arrangements in there, man. That main that sound right there really reminds me of like a late 80s, early 90s style synth. I guess you said it came out in 2007. But the whole that aspect of it and that selection of that synth sound kind of kept me in a flux time-wise, like 1990, whatever the case is, and also the fact that the drum kit that they used had some of those older Syndrum sounding tom-tom fills. Very energetic though, and very punchy. I take it this was some kind of fight or battle track, but the intricacy of the arrangements, that's all I was listening to. I got you know what it was like to me? It was like watching a chef throwing all these colorful things into a wok, and you just go, how could this possibly be? How's this going to work? You know, they've got everything in there, but then you take one bite of it, and it all comes together. That's kind of how these arrangements felt to me. It's like, how are all this happening? I mean, because in my head, I'm peeling it apart. I hear this, 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 I hear this. You know, but when I stand back and I just go, it fully served up. So thank you so much, Dave. I really appreciate that donation for the Maui Food Bank, as well as you even hanging out to hang out and even coming back to catch this, because I sure did get behind on everything and couldn't finish it on that 8-hour stream. Okay, next is Mr. Tickle Trunk. Are you here, Mr. Tickle Trunk? Oh, thank you, Dave. Mr. Tickle Trunk, are you here? If you're not here, I want to say thank you so much for your $20 donation for the Maui Food Bank. Hey, somebody just colored it in for me. Who just colored it in for me? I'm looking at my Excel spread. Was that you, 1 a.m.? Guys, I keep on doing this, but I can't help it. I've got people helping me that are giving me of their time and their energy and their skill set. And oh, you got it? Okay. And it's just, I don't know. I'm carving out a Christmas list, but still yet, that's, thank you. All right. So Mr. Tickle Trunk, you're probably not here, but that's okay. Once again, I want to thank you for your $20 donation. And your song is Red Fang Prehistoric Dog. Let's do that. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Hi, Kairu. You know what? I haven't gotten anything directly. I think when my daughter tagged the Maui Food Bank, because you know what? I didn't tell them I was doing it. I didn't put out like a precursor to it because I didn't know how it would work. I was a little nervous, failure. But she tagged them and they responded to her in the Instagram and she shot it to me. That they were just elated and it was wonderful, which is fine. I can't imagine truly what they're going through as a foundation and supplying food for people. So the fact that they even got back to my daughter through Instagram and in a tag, that's great. That's just super bonus, but thanks for asking. I mean, I had a few other people ask me that. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is Red Fang Prehistoric Dog. Oh, an official music video. Okay, so guys, I'm about to listen to this, but let me know. It looks okay. Relapse Records. So I think we're in for some heavy metal, guys. I don't know. Are they drinking Red Bull or something? Cokes? What are they drinking? I don't know. It'll probably be represented in the music. Let's do this. All right.
1, 2, 3. Go.
The only time I ever used a can like that was I had something burning on the other side, so this is kind of new to me.
Paul.
Call me Gorg.
Okay, Gorg, look, it's not about the hit points right now. I'm just trying to work on my swordsmanship.
You're totally OC, dude.
Sorry, look, this chainmail doesn't cover all of me. I have emotions still.
Hey! Gandalf, nice dress.
Nice, raw, organic. Love that. What a great voice. Man, you know what Whales Humpback just mental for me on this is the fact that this is so raw and so well recorded. I mean, it really sounds like you're grinding this out in a room and stuff like that. And the musicianship and the way the way the engineering is and stuff like that. These guys just went in there and nailed this, And sure, there could be some punch-ins or something somewhere down the line. There could be a few things, but this to me reminds me of the days when I was a drummer in a band in the 70s, and that energy that you get from just, maybe loading up into a garage and you're playing out at like a neighborhood, party or something like that. This is what this is for me. Just raw, powerful, rock that, and also the guy's voice. So I don't know, when is this released? 12 years ago. So I don't know how long ago the song was released. But the guy's voice, it sounds like it's doubled. I'm not sure, but he's got such a great. I wasn't expecting that when I saw him. I don't know what you expect. You never want to. You don't know how to expect anything now. At all. You should never do that. And the drummer. I mean, the whole thing is even the way the whole thing opened up. It felt very. I hope this isn't a slam. Very Wayne's World, Beavis and Butthead, raw, authentic rock. I hope I'm not saying that in a raw way. I'm just saying like, yeah, that kind of a vibe. And that's what this gives me. What a great tone on the guitar. Flange the whole stem. That whole section that that riff, I don't know if it was doubled or if it was being played in unison, because there is this the droning sound in the back could be held by the bass. I'm hearing dun 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 dun. That, by the way, I diverged for a second. The bass, the lead singer, bass player, out of everything that's happening there, his kind of Michael Anthony style bass playing, meaning just staying on those eighth notes, or staying on a pattern. In this case, it sounds like it's a gallop. Is so paramount to the way this track sounds, and so I don't want that to lay back there and not be noticed. Is how he's performing his bass and that gallop consistency, even though there's rhythmical things that are happening with the drums and stuff. The drum is not doing square stuff. Is paramount to this, but that was just being played right there. Sounded so good, even if it wasn't doubled, and in recording, and these guys are playing it live in the session. It sounds so good and it's so catchy. I like how they ended that note right there. It popped into that. The video is really super clever, and but there's like multiple hooks in here that are sticking out in my head, So you had that one with the guitar. Did you have the hook? But then they just gifted us like 16 bars of da 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 da, just meat grinder right down to the floor, just kick you in the balls, blues, metally rock kind of riffage. you know, or I don't even call that a riff. It was just more of a rhythm pattern that was just grinding all the way through. Plus, like I said, so it was a fun video to watch. But if I didn't see the video, I can imagine these guys having that much fun playing the track, and that's important too. If you got a sense of the band or the artist that you love that's doing the song that you're listening to, and you can see it happening in your eyes or unfolding, or you could feel them playing it and stuff like that, that's when they hit it out of a park. That's why I think sometimes a lot of stuff that we hear now that are very studio-oriented in production, sometimes there's a disconnect, you know, between the imagination and the band, because there's so much intense dynamics that are now put in post and the addition of arrangements that may not be usual to a band, if you know what I'm talking about. Whoa. Anyhow, yeah, so, oops, my mouse got stuck. Mr. Trickle Trunk, once again, I know you're not here for this. I didn't see you pop up. Thank you again for your $20 donation for the Maui Food Bank. Very much appreciated. All right, next up, Sign of Insanity. Sign of Insanity. Are you here, Mr. Sign of Insanity? Well, you're not. Hey, there you are. How are you? Good to have you here. How's everybody? But I've been missing a lot of stuff happening here in the chat, so looks like you guys are having fun. But Sign of Insanity, I want to thank you very much for, well, first of all, for coming back. That's super cool beans. And also, first and foremost, thank you so much for the donation. No, I haven't 1 a.m. and thank you for that. I will now, as a matter of fact. So my mod and my alter brain cells, because they die off and I forget things, 1 a.m. bus wanted me to remind everybody. And I actually did talk to, I'm a sneak earlier at 1 a.m., that for those who did donate for the Zoom session, both the Zoom review session of your personal track or the dual Zoom session reaction, I now have a list of who you folks are, and I will be reaching out to you within 24 hours. And especially those, I had about half a dozen people just do the $10 donation, where you got all my music, like 28 tracks of my, you know, heavy metal, guitar metal backing tracks, my ethereal ambient, like buzzy, like chill head trippy stuff, and my chill step progressive EDM. So I do have all that information, and I'll be carving out that email to each and one of you. So we had to figure out how we were going to get an email to you. We figured it out. So that's what we're doing. So thank you 1 a.m. for that. That is super cool beans. Yeah, Jake, I saw you there, of course, super supporter. Both Jake in Vienna and Jake Azuria, both of you guys are on that list. So anyhow, okay, so Sign of Insanity, once again, I want to just circle back. Thank you so much for your support and for your $20 donation. And so you would like to see a reaction to the Gilded Runner by Hayo Mix from Genshin Impact. Let's see, neat little theme. Okay. All right, let me look that up. Stand by. Not what you thought it was. Oh, shoot. I'm highlighting this track real quick. Yeah. I'm doing help desk chat right now. Okay. Okay. Acoustic farts. No, this was digital. Hang on for a second. Let's see if I can see it from here. The Gilded Runner, the Hayo Mix. Is that the right one? Sign of Insanity. Is that the right? Wait, hang on for a second. I didn't do my screens right, so I'm having to go back and forth. And I'm a Sneak showed me the shortcut on how to do that, like alt something and then all the windows show up and I can click. But right now I'm still old fart just going, looking down at my scurvy little setup at my little lower bar. Top one. Okay, that is it. Alt tab. Guys, you know, when you get, I've been around computers all my life, you know, and you just get a frame, just a way of thinking. It just gets used to doing things a certain way. And me and I'm a sneak were on a call before the stream, and it's so funny because it's like I used to be really patient teaching my dad and my uncles about stuff. You know, you have to be patient because you just know what the capacity of understanding is and at what speed, you know, to learn things. That's really funny. I can imagine I'm a sneak saying, no, George, or Jeeves, use Alt and Tab. He's talking to me like an AARP Depends salesman, like is being patient on, no, you take the side and pull the tape and that'll snuggle your Depends. I'm just saying, I'm an old fart. He is extremely patient. That dude is just the best. Okay, here we go, guys. Gilded Runner. Let's do this. All right. It's got a little Phrygian thing going there. Oh no. Nice Middle East texture. Wow, that was great. Let's count it out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2. Oh, I don't know. I was thinking, what is 11, 8? 11, 8. So much going on here with the instrumentation and the buildup and the arrangements and stuff. The first thing I was drawn to was, and I said it was Phrygian, and then all of a sudden I went, no, it doesn't sound Phrygian. The mode in which the melody was kind of written in kind of gave me that vibe, but there was a note in there I can't, so my brain doesn't function like that anymore. But what was unique though, where I locked in on it, was what the bass, what the double bass was doing at the bottom. Boom, boom, bum, 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 bum. It was so nice, the dynamics the bass players were playing in there. And then of course something of this nature too, percussively opens itself up to so many possibilities in coloring different rhythmical arrangements, as we were just kind of talking about. You know, key signature patterns, sign of insanity, all these counter rhythmic patterns that are in there. I'm forgetting the word. This is just the only bummer thing about getting older. Some of the words you can't latch onto when it comes to time. I was trying to think of whatever it was. Anyhow, I can't think of the word. It leaves itself so wide open to it, because the interpretation for me for this kind of Middle Eastern kind of vibe and stuff like that is its rhythmical value in its composition, like I said a few seconds ago, leaves it really open to a lot of counter rhythmical arrangements that can happen with other instruments. I don't know, it's just got that weird thing for me that you could really layer some thickness on it, and then at any given second cut it all away, minimize it, and it still maintain that kind of, you know, super cool vibe. I'm sorry, I got to come back to you on that one, Sign of Insanity. You know what? And I don't know why that came across my mind, was the Fibonacci. But the thing is that I made that mistake, I think, when I did one of my first or second Tool reactions, where one of the tracks kind of has a Fibonacci kind of vibe to it. But it is incredibly wonderful. The I forgot what they call the rhythmical patterns in India, because that's incredible theory, rhythmical theory there. I think that's just absolutely an insane theory. That cycle of sequences that you were talking about there, and it's so magical. And what's it called, the golden ratio too, or something like that. But I'm sorry, I wanted to just jump in on that. Of course, there's always the drone. I always love trying to identify that. Love this. But that note is still being kept very lightly with that. Oh, it just changed. Now it just, there it is. Sign of Insanity, that was a great suggestion. It put me in such a good mood. And yes, exactly. Each one of those patterns, they got longer and longer and longer, which, you know, obviously is what you were mentioning about the Fibonacci. I cannot anywhere near speak in any way, shape, or of any sort in authority about the whole Fibonacci, the golden ratio, the percussive theory of India. But I can't tell you how I feel about it. As a human, as a composer, what it emotes, or emotes, what it emits for me, emit that thing. I've always loved that. As a matter of fact, the last film I did was, The Last Conception. It's on my IMDb, I don't know, The Last Conception or something like that. My score was very light loaded because it was a light, happy, more it was, what do you call it, a comedy dramedy, no, I don't know, whatever. But I had moments where I could have a little bit of fun with some of the patterns and stuff like that, but I couldn't really stretch it out to be something like that. But I had such a great time doing research on that. What is Sign of Insanity? Do you know the name of the of what it is that the percussive pattern that the India percussive theory is based on? Something like it's a single word. I can't remember what it's called or something. If you remember, throw it in there. But anyhow, I love that kind of music. I do not. Okay, but there is one thing about it. I don't know what it is. Anyhow, thank you so much for that. That was just wonderful to listen to. And truth be told, there's a lot of things I can go back and actually fetch in there from the arrangements, from the sitar use to the multiple use of two different kinds of wind instruments. I say wind because I know they're flute, but I don't know what kind or whatever the case is. There's so many great little arrangements that were happening. There's big fireworks and then the little fireworks below, you know, and that's how my brain kind of processes that. So anyhow, Sign of Insanity, thank you so much for that suggestion. Thank you so much for that donation to the Maui Food Bank. Next one is for, my pal and yours. Kairu! This is for you, my friend. Thank you again and again and again and again and again and again and again for you know, your constant support. Yeah, did you know what I was going for? You know, you coming back and supporting and the fun we all have here on the chat and everything. So I have a choice. Yes. Okay. So the choice is if you're feeling jittery or ready for something relaxing. Which one is the relaxing one? Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I don't think I've never heard of Raishima Coast. Is that the one that's more casual and laid back, Kairu? Oh, the Xenoblade is. I'm sorry, I just looked at the how do you do at the chat because I was looking at what you're reading off of the sheet here. Oh, okay, then I want to do the Xenoblade one because I feel like after what I just heard, that was such a great arrangement that my sonic synapses are still going. So Xenoblade 2, we are the chosen ones. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna get the. We are the chosen ones. All right. Get ready to fall asleep. Grunted in disgust. Ah, yeah. Yeah, boy, that last song. That's like, you know, Jiffy Pop to my brain. You guys, how many of you guys know what Jiffy Pop is? That's what it does to my brain. That's what that track did to my brain. You guys remember Jiffy Pop? How many of you guys? Well, I mean, not all of us do. They still sell it. Okay. Well, that's kind of what it feels like, you know? It feels like I'm listening to music like that, and it's like a Jiffy Pop going off. Or sometimes if I wake up in the morning with my longer hair, it's like Hairdo by Jiffy Pop. So, all right, here we go. Kairu, thank you again for your donation for the Maui Food Bank. This is for you and us here on the chat. This is We Are the Chosen Ones, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. All right. Ooh. Nice cluster right there. Oof. That's beautiful. That is one of the most beautiful choral arrangements I've ever heard. I shit you not. I mean, I'm sorry, I just cursed. And, you know, sometimes I listen to choral arrangements, and when composers are really, to me, there's this line between composers in all music composition, and it's just my personal opinion, which is my personal opinion. When you can kind of feel when they're trying to put a lot of things in there as a yah-yah per se, to maybe make other composers go qua, but this arrangement is so beautiful, and the use of a lot of suspended notes throughout the arrangements, and some of them don't even resolve. So you guys know, if you're a musician, second, fourths, ninths, and really, actually, there's variable other notes that you can do that with. And they usually feel like you have this call to action for, like, you're listening to something and then it just wants to relieve itself. Not like, go take a pee. I'm just saying the note wants to relieve itself and give you kind of a shot over the bow of a redirection. And there's a couple times where the composer just lets that hang and then lets it just bloom. I've done it before in the past, and I've had other people say, no, get rid of that note. It just is making me feel like unsettled. The other thing that I love about this is that the clustered harmonies are beautiful. And what I'm talking about is these harmonies that are in close and cluster in proximity of a range, not on these not gigantic wide intervals. It's taking these notes and keeping them in this like cluster and still making it have an impact. This is a stunning piece of music. I like that.
The path we chose is cold, and the dark has no place to dream. Must we go on? Will we ever prevail and smile in peace? Our eternal land is keeping us in warm embrace.
I love that.
Must carry on God's will, and some must face the dark. It's in Father's wishes we live. Let us come together. We must never give up.
Yeah, Sign of Insanity's chord changes are beautiful, but the intertwining arrangements on them are insane. Kairu, thank you for giving me that for context, because in the back of my head, I'm in my own drift. But what you said about this kind of dragon-sized nighttime ride on the back, kind of through the clouds, this is something I might take out tonight. There's a full moon, so I want to take my camera out back and catch a few frames of it. This is one of those kind of pieces of music that I might just listen to. Something else too I just want to talk about briefly, and I mentioned this I think during the stream, that in high school I was in choir for 3 years, and then a special segmented part of the choir which was called chamber singers as a first tenor. So a lot of my preeminent harmony education came from Bernstein and very powerful choral pieces. And I think one of the most amazing things about choral work is that all by the breath of human beings passing through these vocal cords, that we can create such music that has such a divinity to it. you know, or it could be as dark and heinous and devilish and evil, still yet without the instruments, the outward instrument, and only using here through expression, through everything. You know, I would have to, I don't know, this might get me in a little trouble. I would have to say, out of all the instruments in the world, this considered also as an instrument. I think the vocal and choral arrangements are as, if not more, I don't know, I got to be careful what I say here. This is tough because I can get really sent into a real comment hell with this. Every section of an orchestra, just about brass, reeds, strings, you could really stretch the capabilities of arranging from, you know, the highest note of a violin to the lowest note of a bass. Same thing with a horn section. There's just something about the vocals that I think is just that thing. Is that safe? I don't know. I don't want to say it. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying it. That's just how I'm saying. That's just what it makes me feel. You know? I'm just saying.
Let those people see, guide the ones who cannot hear, voices guide us through, words from above. We are the chosen.
We are the chosen ones. Perfect way to end that harmonically. I agree with you, Sign of Insanity.
The path we chose is cold, and the dark has no place to dream. Must we go on? Will we ever prevail and smile in peace? Our eternal land is keeping us in warm embrace. We're the chosen ones from all above the holy sky.
That was freaking great. I think this is the first, Kairu, thank you so much. This is the very first track of its type I think I've listened to in this capacity. I mean, I've heard some choral arrangements, I think, through the gaming stuff. That's another thing. I cannot believe this is a game or was written for a game. These choral pieces are insanely challenging to write. Also, the other thing is I do want to say in closing that this composer gave us a little bit of a reprieve in the last minute and a half of this and got into more of the present, or got more into the presence of being communicative in a very simple way by just giving us the straight melody with maybe 2 or 3 layer harmony without the whole opening, and everything in the first quarter was so dynamic and beautifully complex. And for him to have ended, or her, I don't know who the composer was, was able to end it in a way where it's like, okay, we're just getting now down to the bare brass, brass tacks. Is that how you say it? And let's just get the melody out now. That we're the chosen ones. And that was sick. That was absolutely sick. Yeah, something like that. So thank you, Kairu, sneaking that one up on me. Confonit. Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then take just a really quick break so I can go to the restroom. Okay, I got to do it in order the way it is. N45800. Are you still with me? How's it? Endwalker. Footfalls. What is that? Final Fantasy again. Footfalls. There you are. How you doing? Well, you're back, and I love the fact that quite a few of you put down multiple donations, and I'm blessed to have you guys hanging out there. But man, that's the thing too. I think I learned recently that food banks get a little different. In some way, shape, or form, maybe it's based on the size of the food bank. You can get a separate kind of, I don't want to say deal, but offer maybe from manufacturers and stuff, and you still have to pay, but it might be a few pennies less. So even $20, what that can do and how that can feed, with sacks of rice or cans of soup, or here in Hawaii, corned beef hash and Spam, whatever. It can go such a long ways, even in today's day and age, that it's kind of tough times, yeah. But I want to thank you again. So here we go. Hi, Corey Play YT. Here we go. This is Endwalker, Footfalls. Let's do this. All right. Ooh, guy from Architects, huh? Kind of reminds me of a police track. Sting the Police. Okay, now it doesn't. Love that piano arrangement. What a great track. This is the bass. The growing string. Wow. Okay, can somebody help me out with this? How is this? Was this written for the game, or was this produced for, what do they call the download thing later? I'm just curious. The track is freaking phenomenal, but there's some really. Oh, it's for the trailer. Okay, there were some really great little instrumental arrangements happening there. What I loved is this slow buildup of this kind of spiccato kind of string. So whoever produced, wrote, arranged this song. I love that even though we've got this kind of mod rock, progressive mod metal rock kind of vibe to it, and I'm sure I'm not even into any meat and potatoes. They've already given me quite the salad bar. I don't know why I relate the music to food and salad bars. I do all the time. But they've already given me kind of an eye-opening presentation of all these little great things. you know. And I love the way this guy's voice is, at least mixed into the pocket here. All right, here we go. You hear that string arrangement in the back there? Great voice, Jesus. Wow, that was a twisty turn right there. This part of the arrangement got into some kind of like schwarmy, like, so you think you know Kung Fu? Come on over here. The vocal performance that I just listened to and really was intriguing was the way the background vocals were written in an answer back of da 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 da. That to me is just really super cool when whoever's doing the vocal arrangement, be it the singer, the producer, the arranger, songwriter, when they think of these things, you know, they're really playing a lot. But there's a lot, you know, our brain can register all this stuff. You and I are all hearing the same things. I just have, you know, I have a challenge that this is what I do for a living, and I can peel this stuff apart. For those of you that are lucky enough to not have that, and you can listen to a piece of work for what it is, I actually envy you. So you can just sit there and just get on with that piece of music. But nice little turnarounds and twists, especially this last little section. This last little section, like I said, got into this kind of like, kind of vibe where it's like, you know, kind of a smoky rock jazz kind of a thing. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. Another singer. All right. Listen to the bass, guys. Wow. Great graphics. Wow, listen to that snare sound. I love that. Now, this is when a producer or an arranger or stuff decides to take that chance. And when I said I love that snare sound, there was like this open bucket kind of vibe behind it. You know, so apparently it wasn't the snare itself, but the decision to go ahead and layer something underneath it to give it that kind of barrel-y kind of vibe was great. And I know like bands like Slipknot, is it Slipknot or Mudvayne? I forget which one they play with the beer keg. I forget which one it is. But also when I was young, when I was an engineer in the Hollywood days out in the 80s, the decade of decadence, of which I don't remember a lot, I did work with an absolute engineering genius at one point. His name was Roger Nichols. And we were all blown away the day he came in and we were doing a session. I forgot who it was we were doing a session for. And I was the second engineer. And he brought in a computer that was able to take a signal from the track that was the snare that would trigger an explosion in the computer. We're talking 82, 83, you know, when that quite wasn't the thing yet. So it's when you think of those things that, you know, you trigger these extra sounds and stuff, you know, and I like pulling those things apart. Because what happened is after we heard that doink, doink, that additional part of that snare, after that was done, you know, the organic snare took over and the sound took over. Oh, that bass. Ooh, key change, hello. Ooh, nice way to let it off. You know, it's funny. Somebody just left a comment at how they like the drum. Who left that comment? Abalucci. You know, the drums were extraordinary in this, but what's very unique is the mix of the drums. Like, I'm sure now all of you, at least if you're here on my channel and you hang out with me, how I talk about the mixing and the presence of certain instruments based on the kind of textures that the producers want to get across to you. A lot of times, like for instance, like I just did Nick Nocturnal's new song from his band. I think it's Terramina. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. And it was a great track. You know, the guy's just so freaking talented. You listen to drums like that and of that capacity and that style of engineering and production decision, the drums are in your face. You hear the sensitivity of everything from the tom-toms all the way through. In this case, there's so much power happening. There's only so how many notes. I think the king can only listen to so many notes. Remember that from Amadeus. That you have to make a decision in the case of where you want the emphasis of a lot of the drums to come through. And in this case, the drums were still nice and powerful, a big part of this track, but the toms and a lot of the fills were set back. You know, they weren't the ominous, you know, force up front. And that's because there's a lot going on with multiple vocal tracks, a lot of arrangements and guitar, you know, layers and stuff going on. So this was a trippy track, though. Two different singers, key change, flip-flops, you know, in the arrangement and stuff like that. And I guess you guys said this was a trailer or something, yeah? Something of that nature. Oh, it was Architects. Okay, well, those guys are slamming. But it definitely had a theatrical or powerful, like, title ending kind of presence. And when I mean title ending, I'm talking about like the end of a movie or something. It had that kind of vibe to it. I don't know why I said that. All right, guys, listen, I got to take a really quick break. I'm going to end my stream.